Hey everybody, this is Young Living Diamond Sarah Harnish, and we're just going to keep it short and sweet tonight because I don't know about you guys, but I have got some Thanksgiving fever. I am a homeschool mom, and we just came off a crazy week of homeschooling, and I'm totally ready to be on break. But it's also the last night tonight, and it's a special night because we're wrapping up the D. Gary Young training. So if you haven't had a chance to check out this book or this boot camp, do not feel like you are behind. You are never, ever, ever behind on a boot camp. We save all these videos. We pop them up at the oilabilityteam.com website, so you can go back and rerun this stuff with your teams. What I would challenge you is in the next 30 days, grab one of these Scriptbook classes, download the PowerPoint, go teach it, and just show your teams how easy it is to duplicate and how easy it is to share and how easy it is to do product education. We've made it as simple as just rip and read. It's super easy. So let me give you some highlights out of the mini. This is the number one tool that I'm using right now to draw people to classes, and it is working so well for me. It's working really well even with people that I haven't met before. I handed out a mini to two women on an airplane, and they're now signing up with my team. So they're very excited about it. Jordan says, I love the Gary class. I cried most of the way through. Yeah, that one's a super tearjerker. It's a great class. So the mini is just the classes in a page format. It's really, really tiny. It's just to tease their interest, get them excited about it. Many of you guys have been writing, asking me if I'm going to run a sale. I am going to run a sale, so stay tuned. Tomorrow, you'll see some stuff on this page. We've got a big sale running on my website, help you stock up on some stuff and keep your cost a little bit lower. But I just want you to know how much I appreciate you. Many of you guys have written asking me about the game planner. We should have that up very, very soon. We're going to be taking it to Amazon this year instead of printing it in my publishing house because just a little less stress on me. So let's remember a couple of things about the Gary Young class. Christy Dempsey in the house, guys. We got a crown diamond in our midst and a sweet, sweet friend. So what was the purpose of this project, of this book? It was to get people out and sharing again. We went from 600 people a month that we were adding down to 100 people a month that we were adding. So I was looking for some way to get my team excited about sharing, and we've turned that freight train around. Now they know if they want to teach a hormones class, they can just grab a script, have a PowerPoint on their computer in 30 seconds and sit down and teach it, or on their tablet or on their cell phone. We got people teaching seedlings classes in Starbucks coffee shops and all of that because it's so easy to teach. It's so easy to teach and so duplicatable. So that was the purpose of the script book, and I really hope that it's just been a huge blessing to you. Shalina says, I need help getting out and sharing. Just listen to the needs that are around you. Just listen to them. I just popped on an airplane a week ago with a woman who had a fall, and she lost her sense of smell and taste from the fall. And I said, I'm curious to know if neuroauricular technique would help you with that at all, or even doing some of the, Harvard Health sniff training where you're rotating different types of oils out. It'd be interesting to see. I said, you should, come to one of my oils classes and let's try some of these techniques on you. And they're super excited. Her and her daughter interested in building a business. And so, it's pretty cool. Even the people you can meet on airplanes and stuff that you don't necessarily know. So let's just hit on a couple highlights from the mini, couple highlights from the workbook. And then tonight I get to give the hangman answers out. And this is the end of this boot camp. So we'll do a couple of protocols over the next few weeks. But Tuesday, I'm going to jump back into doing roundtables with you guys. And I hope that you've learned a ton over these last few months. We've just been hanging out together. I learned a lot of new things, whether it's blending, whether it's information on Gary that you didn't know, whether it's making einkorn stuff. I just hope that this has just been a really, really good time for you in a period of growth. Now, my challenge to you is turn around and teach it. You guys have been, hundreds and hundreds of you have been on this boot camp since we started this thing back in May. It was the slowest boot camp I've ever done because it was so much content. I didn't want to go through it too quickly. I will never do boot camp this long again, I promise you. But so many of you guys have been on it. Now I want you to turn around and go share. Go teach some of the stuff that you have learned. We can't bring oils to every home in the world when this information and knowledge just sits in your head. So find somebody in your circle, pick a class, and just sit down and do it. Just sit down and do it. So a couple highlights from Gary's class, and I'm just reading right out of the mini. remembering the class. To understand Gary Young, who's the founder of Young Living, you got to know his roots. Gary grew up in a very different world, almost as if he stepped back in time, like 200 years. He lived off the land in the rugged West, and he was a real live mountain man, yet a cowboy of sorts. Why did authenticity matter so much to Gary Young? He saw that the world was changing, and it was getting harder to get unadulterated, unhybridized wheat. It was getting harder to find untainted food and essential oils and water. He knew that we had to get away from EMFs, those electromagnetic fields. The body is strong and it will repair itself, but not when it's bombarded daily with attacks. The average cell has 10,000 free radical attacks every single day. So he didn't want the poison in the plants. He knew there had to be a place where we could go where it was not contaminated. And I know how hard it is to find that. I just spent the whole afternoon winterizing my garden to get ready for 2 huge cold fronts that we've got coming into Greenville, South Carolina. I know you guys feel so sorry for me. It was 70 degrees today, but it's going to be 19 on Tuesday. Tammy says, you're the best. I started strong with these sessions, but I have quite to catch up on. You know what? Don't even worry about catching up. It's okay. Just digest the information in the way that's best for you. If it's a video, then go play a video, here or there. If it's picking up the book and reading a couple pages at night, do that. Very soon, I'm going to have it up on Audible, and you'll be able to listen to the Scriptbook for the very first time as a podcast. And you'll be able to hear all 25 classes that way. So you're never, ever behind. Don't ever go through life thinking you got to keep up with all the stuff we're doing on this page. I'm happy if you hop in for 10 minutes and just say hi to me. I'm going to do a bunch of giveaways in a few minutes, so hang around. So Gary attempted suicide twice in his life, and he failed. If you're ever at a low point in your life, you can use oils knowing that the man that came up with the way that they were distilled felt exactly the same way that you are feeling. Gary's logging accident launched a period of recovery that I believe started with emotional healing. It began in that place where he needed to find purpose in life, right? And so he needed to find wholeness for himself because he knew that there were others suffering out there that needed what he had to offer, and they weren't going to find relief if he gave up. Now, giving up, that's not the answer to finding the relief. And it was like a switch flip for Gary. So the very first switch, we're going through the 125 class in the Scriptbook right now. It's the very last class in the book, and it's the D. Gary Young class. And I'm just giving you some highlights. So if you just popped in, that's what you missed. It was like a switch flip for Gary when he had hope again, when he had done some emotional healing. The first switch was when he realized that he still had purpose in his life. And the second switch was when he realized that the answers that he had been seeking lied within the plants. And the third was his instruction or his introduction to the world of essential oils. And Gary's appetite could not be satiated. He was just so hungry to learn everything that was out there. So when people tell you no, and when they tell you that they don't believe in oils and they don't believe in the power of food, or where they think that something in your lifestyle is a farce, I want you to remember Gary's story because he didn't quit despite all the stuff that was going on around him. So how would I describe Gary Young to someone? If I had to sit down next to him and maybe they've been reading all that baloney online, how would I describe his personality? I would say he was very humble. He gave all that he had to help people. He was definitely persistent, Cindy, you're right. He was an intuitive man. He knew how to ask the Lord for direction. And then he paused and he listened to his answers, which is pretty incredible. When he couldn't seem to find a solution, he would retreat to the mountains. He went to God's living room to silence himself and to pray. Gary would travel to dangerous parts of the world just to make sure that he had the best oil for you. And he had insight into whether or not it was good enough, and he wouldn't accept less than the best that there was. And he never stopped researching, and he never stopped questioning the standard. And he always looked for a better way. And as his company grew, he didn't lose who he was. He was an innovator. He was a scientist. He was a philanthropist. He was a researcher. He was a gifted teacher. And he had a work ethic that rivaled most people despite the blinding pain that he lived with every single day from his logging accident. He would stand at convention without even a wince, and he would hug 1,000 leaders who had just ranked because your moment on stage was more important than his pain. He didn't talk about how much pain he was in. He just hugged everybody. Gary was a genius aromatherapist and a prestigious aromatherapist who made blends like Thieves' Valor and Stress Away. I can't even imagine blending blends like that. He redefined distillation globally. He created the first large-scale essential oils network marketing company in the world. And because of his work, you can go to one place and get shampoo. shampoo. I want you to remember that word and you'll know why in a week. Einkorn flour and hundreds of oils that you trust. Even in Gary's absence, 3,000 global employees hold to the seed to seal standard every single day because he incited an unshakable belief that people need authenticity. Years after his death, his values are still deeply ingrained in Young Living. Gary is no longer here to make sure that we abide to his seed to seal promise. So it'd be pretty easy to just stop doing it, right? He's not watching over it. But here's the thing. He doesn't need to be watching over it because there are 7 million Young Living Oilers around the world who believe in what he fought for. So I see Gary in every single drop of oil. He was persistent. And just like Cindy had said, until the very first few drops of lavender at the St. Mary's Farm in Idaho. And now we defend the honor of seed to seal forever. We defend it for him. That is the whole reason why an oil from a grocery store is not the same as store-bought oil. It's not the same, right? So Gary befriended a sultan and many doctors and deeply respected researchers and biochemists and famous distillers from China to Oman to France. His love of people was so infectious that even the most isolated men respected and befriended Gary. To me, his best quality by far was that if you were standing in front of Gary Young, you were the only person in the room. You're the only one that existed. You were all that mattered to him. So your thoughts and your family and your successes and frustrations, they would put tears of compassion on that man's face. I watched him cry, I think, more than I saw him not cry. He called it his leaky eye syndrome. And basically what that means is that your journey was precious to him. You mattered. You had value. Didn't matter whether you were a Royal Crown Diamond or a customer. You had value and purpose to Gary Young. And every day he would get up and he would fight for you because he knew that you needed the oil. All right. He knew that you needed it. I think about all the times that I used oil just in the last year with COVID and trying to recover from COVID. And one of my favorite oils tips was I could knock a COVID headache down super fast by taking 6 full dropperfuls of mineral essence and putting it under my tongue. Somebody had given me that tip and I was like, you know what, let me give it a shot. I never tried it. I couldn't believe how much it helped me. And I step back and I look at all of the different stories, the millions and millions of people in Young Living around the whole world, and what an impact Gary has made on all of them because he didn't give up. Because he didn't quit, right? So now it's up to you guys to not quit and not give up. Every time you feel like your business is going super slow, every time you're just exhausted, you don't feel like things are moving the way you think they should be, and you feel like you're starting all over and you're losing leaders and you're losing OGV and you're just discouraged. Guys, Gary is discouraged every single day, and he didn't give up. Right? He didn't quit. And I had mineral essence this year because that man never gave up. So here's the heart message. And this is the why behind the training. You now know Gary as I have known him. And that's why we fight to bring oils to every home in the world. It's because while you were unaware decades ago, Gary Young was fighting for you. You may not be able to stand in front of him and tell him your oil stories anymore, but you can rest knowing that you were on his mind and that he sought answers in the world of plants just to make your world a little bit better. Isn't that worth bringing oils to every home in the world? There was a guy out there thinking of you before you even knew his name or even knew what Young Living was, right? Because the Lord put him on a mission. God told us that the plants heal. And so by sharing, you're not just bringing someone an oil, you're bringing them hope. And that is the heart of Gary Young. So I would tell you, when I'm telling you what to order, go order Gary's favorite oils. His favorite oil of all time was Highest Potential. And his second favorite oil of all time was Valor. Yeah, do it for Gary. Shelley, yes, do it for Gary. So an action step. Here we go, guys. Here we go. And then I'll give you a couple highlights of the workbook. We'll do some giveaways and I'll get you out for Thanksgiving. If this class touched you, share it. Go teach the Gary class. How many people on your team know about Gary Young? Share any class in this book just as it was shared with you because we have forgotten how to use the plants. But it's time to remember again because somebody needs you to fight for them, just like Gary fought for you. So put the Scriptbook in somebody's hands. Put the mini in somebody's hands. Go stock up on minis and get them in people's hands. Get the full Scriptbook and read it cover to cover, and then pick a class and share it with somebody that you love. This is not a little book to sell oils. It's a book to bring people hope, right? When they need enzymes for their gut, enzymes that Gary designed, right? But they just don't know it yet. It's a book to show mamas that they can quiet a tantrum with a little hyssop on the back of their baby's neck and soothe an achy tummy without dyes and sugar and chemicals. It's a book to show a friend that you love that their tension and sadness can be eased with a few drops from a plant in a diffuser, and to be with those mamas when they feel alone. That's what the face of hope looks like, right? It's acting like Gary. It's acting like Gary did before you ever even knew him. And so there are 25 classes now that you have to protect those around you through the love of plants. So may I ask something of you now? I'm going to end the boot camp asking something of you. Share the words, and let's bring oils to every home in the world, starting with yours. So will you accept the Scriptbook challenge? Will you get out there and teach all 25 classes to your team? Will you commit over 25 weeks to teaching all 25 classes to your team? Get on your team page, go do the 101 class, then do the Thieves class, then do the Ningxia class, then do the CBD class, right? And work together to bring oils to every single home in the world. You guys are not passive listeners anymore. You're following in this man's footsteps, right? This is our coloring page from the workbook. And you're following in his footsteps. What would happen to your OGV if you went out and taught all 25 classes on your team page? Or if you don't have a team page, what if you taught them on your personal page on Facebook and just started sharing with people, right? So I'm going to share a little bit from the workbook. We're not going to do it all tonight. We'll just do a couple highlights. But let me just share a few little tidbits. This is the open to the workbook. When I was a platinum in Young Living, I accidentally bumped into Gary Young in a hallway outside a barbecue restaurant. He was inside and he was waiting for his wife, Mary, to wrap up a conversation with a really sweet friend. And he asked me what rank I was. And I said, I just hit platinum this month, Gary. And I was so excited to tell him that I had just hit it after 8 months of teaching classes. 8 months. Melanie says, I don't have a team yet. Girl, you go build it. Go sign your mama, go sign your best friend, go sign the people in your circle, sign the people you work with, and then go teach to their friends. That's how you get to Senior Star by Christmas. You go teach to their friends. So I was so excited when I was standing in that hallway with Gary, and I was like, I just hit platinum. I'm stoked. And he looked at me with this huge smile on his face, and he said, Diamond next month? You hit diamond next month? And all right, guys, I'm a realist, okay? I'm a blue, but then my secondary color is red. And so I sat there for a moment, and I thought about what that would take. I mean, I would have to more than double my OGV. I'd have to go from 100,000 to 250,000 in 30 days. And it had taken me over a year, to hit my current rank. So could I really do it in a month? Was it logistically possible? And in a few seconds, I had already decided in my mind that it was not possible. And Gary saw my face. He looked at my face. And when I looked back into his eyes, I realized there was no doubt at all, not even a trace of disbelief. Gary Young, 1,000% thought that it was possible for me to go from platinum to diamond in 1 month. And I remember sitting there for a moment and I was just absorbed. I was absorbed in what it felt like to have somebody believe in you more than you believe in yourself. Have you ever had a moment like that? Especially somebody that you didn't even really know very well. I mean, I wouldn't say Gary Young was my best friend. I met him in a hallway, half a dozen times. He didn't know me from Adam, right? He knew I was one of his platinums and he was proud of me. But there wasn't any disbelief on his face at all. He just looked me in the face and he's like, diamond next month. Just go do it. Go do. He did have confidence in me. So this isn't really a discussion about whether or not to build a Young Living business. It's about the ability to dream. Because as adults, I feel like we have lost the fire that we had on our graduation day, that any dream can be achieved. We say that we have more experience, and we say that we have more knowledge, and we say that we have more wisdom, but in truth, we've just had more of our dreams crushed. Gary didn't give up, and that's why we have what we have, today in Young Living. I know that if he was standing in front of you, he would ask you what's in your heart, then he would tell you to make the dream bigger, and then he would tell you to make it happen, and then he would tell you to make it happen much faster than you think it could happen. So I actually have a photo of this encounter with Gary. Let me turn my camera around. Here it is. This is us standing in that hallway in front of that barbecue restaurant. We were at Zermatt. I was there for the beauty school. And that was the month that I had hit platinum. And I've got my daughter with me because her and I traveled to the beauty school together. And then we went to Mona and played with Gary's horses for like 5 hours. And that's Mary Clendenin, a beautiful platinum in Young Living and a good friend of mine who met us out there. And I just remember standing in that hallway. We talked with Gary for probably 45 minutes, just the three of us, and I was just blown away at his belief system. His humility blew me away, and his humbleness, and how important every single person was to him, no matter how tired he was. But his belief system, guys, that was what really rocked my world, that he would step back and believe in me more than I believed in me. Right? So maybe you just need somebody to speak into you tonight and say, hey, it's going to be okay. Yeah, the economy super sucks right now, but we got Black Friday and Cyber Monday coming up, and your OGB is going to look good in November. It's going to look good in November, right? And the more people that you talk to, the better it's going to look in the month of November. So stop beating yourself up. Stop being frustrated not hitting goals. Stop comparing your stats to a year ago or 2 years ago. Just knock it off. You're in a new era of your business, and you need to go out and start bricklaying. You have a huge tool in your hands with the Scriptbook to go bricklay. So go do it. Right? Go do it and start believing in yourself again. Even if you're not hitting the self-imposed deadlines, that you've set for yourself, it doesn't matter. I'll tell you guys, I did not make diamond a month after platinum, but I did make it 15 months later. So I assume that my dreams are about 15 times smaller than Gary's, is what I'm thinking. And now I'm heading for crown diamond. And you know what? I've lost OGV this year. I've lost ground. I've lost leaders. I've gone through everything you guys have gone through. But I'm never going to stop moving forward. Not ever. I do not have the incredible vision and momentum that Gary Young had naturally in his heart. But the one thing that he did teach me was consistency and true vision casting and dreaming bigger than I think that I can dream, and the self-discipline to make the mark. And the self-discipline looks like get up and teach, get up and teach, get up and teach, get up and do your job, put your shoes on and go teach, right? That's what self-discipline looks like in this business. You just got to do it again and again and again and again. So because of that, negativity is what we're going to discuss in the bonus training of the workbook. And my prayer is that you learn to believe in you again, because you can do greater things than you think are possible. You just got to dream like Gary. So what I did tonight is I just wanted to keep it simple and tight. There are some key points from the class, and you can absolutely look over those and fill those in. There's some action steps to learn about Gary Young. So what I did was I collected everything I could find about Gary. Doesn't this script just make you want to crawl up in his lap and just get to know him a little bit better? Do you know that you can know him better even after he's passed? All you got to do is, first off, grab some stuff that he's written. Grab the stuff his wife has written, right? And you're going to hear his own words speaking right into you. So Mary Young's book, D. Gary Young, The World Leader of Essential Oils, is right at youngliving.com. Go grab it. It's a picture book. You'll see his whole life. Then you can grab some of Gary's other books, and they're getting a little harder to find, but here are a few of them. My number one book that I recommend by Gary is The Integrative Medical Guide. It's everything he tells you to do for your body. It is so well written, and I use that more than any reference guide. I use it more than anything. You've got to get your hands on that book. Ancient Einkorn, Today's Staff of Life, the Ningxia Wolfberry book, The Ultimate Superfood, The One Gift, Shutrans Ancient Apothecary, Aromatherapy, The Ancient Beginning, an Introduction to Young Living Oils, Pregnenolone, Raindrop Technique, The Truth Behind the Growth Hormone, Its Promise and Its Peril, A New Route to Robust Health, How Strength Training and Supplements Work Together to Bring You Longevity and Unequaled Health, Longevity Secrets, How the Hunza People Achieved Unsurpassed Longevity Through Diet. The Missing Link is Gary's 101 class, and as a Young Living Oiler, that is not a class you can miss. Okay, you need to find it. There are recordings of it online. You can listen to it on YouTube and stuff, and you need to share it with every single person on your team. All right, even if you do that in the next 72 hours. Oh my gosh, guys. Go listen to that class. The Tracks teams, Young Living full set of training CDs and streaming. This is all of his speeches and stuff that he gave, including titles like the Essential Oils World Tour, How to Prepare Physically and Emotionally for Times Ahead. There's 146 training CDs and 9 DVDs. Not all of them are Gary, but it all stems from Young Living stuff. Check out Gary's old writing on his blog, dgaryyoung.com. Maybe you've got $1 in your bank account and you can't buy anything. You can go to YouTube and listen to The Missing Link, and you can go to his blog and go get lost in his words, just like he's speaking right to you. Check out some of the writing about Gary on the Lavender Life Young Living blog. Two of my favorite archived articles, if you guys want to screenshot this, are Your Essential Oil Guide for the Toughest Trails and Gary and Mary Young, A Love Story. Those I've read the entire blog. It's a really good, really good sit in front of the fireplace, curl up next to your computer, read over the winter thing. But those two I really like. Attend Young Living's convention, because you always get to know Gary by being there, even if you can only go virtually. And then I would tell you, visit any farm. This is the Mona farm right there. You will see the heart of Gary at his farms. It's almost like you're standing right in front of him. Young Living's Mona, Utah farm is a wonderful visitor center, and it just takes your breath away to walk the fields. It's incredible. These are all ways that you can get to know Gary. Whoops, I turned my camera on, let me turn around again. These are all ways that you can get to know Gary a little bit better, a little bit better, a little bit better. Go to oilabilityteam.com and click on share, and then click on the farms button, because I have some of my favorite photos of visiting Gary's farms right up there. You can go look at his farms tonight. You can go to the new global headquarters. There's actually a museum for Gary Young just outside. I shot a video on it. If you go through my videos and go back a month or two, you'll see his museum, and it shows his early life. Now, that building was the last building that Gary built before he passed away, and it's a true tribute to the company that he founded. There's also a visitor center where you can purchase unique Young Living products and a dining area to try out some Young Living recipes. Another thing you can do is go attend a harvest. Winter harvest is coming up, and it's in Idaho, and it's wonderful. Or you can go to the Lavender 5K once a year. You'll capture the heart of Gary just by being with his plants. Sign up for Young Living text messages and follow Young Living on social media, on Facebook and on Instagram. And this sounds overly simple, but just teach. Just teach. Gary had one mission, and that was to bring God's oils to every home in the world. It doesn't seem like you're doing a lot if you just share with your coworker and you share with your best friend, but it would have meant a lot to Gary. And you are sharing him when you are sharing oils, right? You're sharing him when you're sharing oils. So let me give you a couple diffuser recipes. Now, I know I told you guys not to blend blends, but today we're going to blend a blend. Just because why not, right? It's the last chapter of the book. Let's have a little fun, right? We'll raise a little heck. Have you ever heard of Gary's Great Day Protocol? It's in the Scriptbook protocol section, so we'll be covering it over the next few Tuesdays. We're done with boot camp after today, but I'm going to go over the protocol still with you guys. The back matter is stuff that we can break out during roundtables. That's not something that requires actual boot camp for. So it's for when you need a great day. If I could just put it bluntly, yesterday I had a rough day. A really good friend of mine was diagnosed with stage 4 bladder cancer, and I was in a funk, and I stayed there the entire day. And then that night I put 2 drops each of Gary's Great Day Protocol oils in the diffuser, and the aroma of the oils took my head to a different place. And this morning I woke up and I felt energized, like I could face the day. I believe that the protocol is more powerful by applying it topically, but what's neat about oils is that you can even use them when you're not using them. So what I mean by that is even when you're sleeping. So if you have a diffuser by your bed, you're giving the oils access to the limbic lobe of your brain as you rest. You're putting God's plants and all their constituents in your mind. And some days I feel like I'm crawling up into the lap of my Abba Father and just resting in his space. Nobody gets credit for the plants except for God. It's one thing while I sleep that I have no problem doing, and that is getting a little more God in my head and a little less of me. So what is this Great Day Protocol in a diffuser? I would say, turn my camera on here, 2 drops of valor, 2 drops of harmony, 2 drops of joy, and 2 drops of white angelica. Now, as a side note, I'll tell you, Gary made certain blends specifically for vision casting, negativity, hope, release. Lean on the mixes that he's already created for you. Instead of putting many blends in a diffuser at once, try them individually in your diffuser each night for a week, and put them on your feet or on the back of your neck before bed, and then write down how you feel in the journaling section. So what are some of the vision casting oils that Gary gave us? 3 wise men, abundance, acceptance, awaken, believe, brain power, clarity, envision, excite, forgiveness, freedom, Gary's light. In the workbook, I actually listed all of them for you, all of them. Gathering, these are some of our freebies this month. Gratitude, grounding, harmony, higher unity, highest potential, hope, humility, inner child. That one's powerful. Into the future, journey on, joy, magnify your purpose, motivation, one heart, present time, release, Sarah, sacred mountain, sensation, stress away, surrender, transformation, trauma, life, valor, and white angelica. Gary's 2 favorite oils were highest potential and valor in that order, but let's narrow it down to the top 7 that I use weekly to get my head in a good place. So here's 7 oils I use every single week. Valor, 3 wise men, forgiveness, release, inner child, magnify your purpose, and belief. All right. Belief. So maybe you just can't get your business off the ground because you just can't get out of your head. Start putting oils on your body. Just do it. Start doing it every single day. Put it next to your bed so that you don't forget to get it on your body every single day. All right, we're going to wrap up with the bonus training for tonight, and then I'll give you the answer to the hangman game, which means all of you guys who've figured out could shoot me an email, and you're going to get a script from the second script book that I'm working on right now. So the bonus training not included in the game plan script book. Gary believed that your own mind was what held you back the most. So if you could release your own negativity, you could go so far, just like I immediately blocked his idea of hitting diamond in a month, right? I blocked it for myself. Gary could spot negativity a mile away, like a mile away. So let me end the final bonus training in the workbook with Gary's own words for your heart. And he said, quote, this is all in italics because this is him talking directly to you. I'm just reading his words out loud. This is not my writing. He said, write down the one thing that you want to release, just a short statement. After you've written that on a piece of paper, then take your pen in your hand and draw circles around it in reverse. Not clockwise, but counterclockwise. This is not necessary, but it can help you immensely. You do this because it helps you to visually create the emotion of unwinding or releasing or erasing. Then you put on release and you release that emotion, that thought. You may have to put on acceptance as you release it. If you've experienced things like losing a loved one or going through a divorce that you didn't really want, but the other person did. When you don't have control over people or things, I don't know if you guys picked up on that, but Gary had 2 divorces before he found Mary. And you hear his words there, a divorce you didn't really want, but the other person did. It's giving you a little insight into his own life. When you don't have control over people or things and you feel pain, betrayal, or abandonment, you don't know how to deal with it. There is one way to deal with it. Start scribbling circles in a counterclockwise motion and say, I willingly release all things that no longer serve me in a positive and progressive way. This is on page 574 in the workbook. So why is that important? It's because you have to move into 3 areas that we all tend to avoid. You must move into non-attachment, non-judgment, and non-resistance. And you can do that by saying, I lovingly, willingly release all that no longer serves me in a positive and progressive way. Therefore, you're making no judgment on that which you're releasing. Once you've written it on paper and you've said the affirmation, you don't need to do anymore. Just by physically making the motion of going counterclockwise, you're erasing that blueprint in your memory. Next, while breathing in the oil blend of release, say, I willingly, lovingly release. I release it, right? I release it. If you feel that it's hard or you feel that you don't want to release, then put acceptance on with release, because sometimes we just have to stop and accept where we are before we can move beyond that. We like to stay stuck. It's true. I know it's kind of a hard thing to say to you guys tonight, but we like to stay stuck. That is something that's really difficult for humans. We like to beat ourselves up and we like to make martyrs out of ourselves so we can feel good about ourselves while we slide into the ditch of poverty, lack, and sickness. I don't know about you guys, but I don't want to be in the ditch of poverty, lack, or sickness. Then people can bring chocolates and flowers to us in the hospital to celebrate our position in life. Oh man, are we a backward society? Are we programmed backwards? Yes, we are. So how can we ever expect to get it right unless we start realizing that we need to make some changes? Now, another thing, this is still Gary's words here. If you're in this space and you're writing and erasing, but you're feeling stuck and you put acceptance on and it doesn't break the barrier to allow you to feel like you're moving forward, then there's another attachment that you might want to release. It might be an indicator that there is a spiritual bondage. It could be a spiritual issue, in which case you put white angelica on your shoulders, sternum, neck, and crown and breathe it in. And then repeat everything in the process. Repeat it all. So release, then acceptance, then white angelica. This is Gary's protocol for letting things go. Is that going to work for everybody? No, but it will for most people. If you guys want me to type this out and make a little protocol with a little cheat sheet for you on releasing negativity, I'll work on that for you. However, if that still doesn't let you release or break it, then another thing might be holding you there. So put surrender on because you're stuck. You're not moving or breaking away from the problem, whether it's spiritual or physical, because you feel attached to it. You've gotten so much mileage out of it and it's served you so well, even in the pits of negativity. When you're in the pit of negativity, you get a lot of attention and you need to surrender this. All right, guys, I'll make a graphic. I'll work on it this weekend and I'll put it up and you guys can share this protocol with your teams. And I'll even give you the writing on this so you can share the writing with your teams as well. You need to surrender this so you can heal and so you can start to reach your true potential. That's all from Gary Young in 2012, D. Gary Young, and it was in his blog post, Programming Positivity and Releasing Negativity for Essential Oils. So he just gave you a negativity release protocol, basically, negativity release protocol. So did you guys get all that? Release first, then acceptance, then white angelica, then surrender. All right, those 4. So a little DIY gift for the class. One afternoon, I was really missing Gary. So my daughter and I saved a bit, and we took some flights to Utah to go walk around the Mona farm. I'm going to show you a picture of Gracie and I. Nobody was outside, and it was peaceful and it was quiet. And we just stood with Gary's horses and ponies in the fields for hours. My daughter would walk to the end of the fence and the entire pen of horses would follow her. And then she'd walk to the other side and they would follow her there because they wanted love and affection. We're a big horseback riding family. And I can tell you just from his mares that Gary knew how to love his animals. So in honor of Gary, here's a quick little DIY for those of you that have horses. Courtesy of Game Plan fan Christina Hutchins Lake. She says this DIY is for horses and hoofed animals. I feel like we leave you something special when we give you oils for animals because it's just a huge piece of Gary's heart and his love for them to care for them the way that he would have. So this is the hoof spray recipe. You guys can just screenshot. It's helichrysum, tea tree, purification, thieves, thyme, and oregano. And this is a hoof dressing recipe with helichrysum, melaleuca, purification, thieves, thyme, and oregano. All right, so for those of you that don't have hoofed animals, there's a second DIY recipe. Now, I had the honor of staying at Skyrider Ranch. Let me turn this around again. Skyrider Ranch, where the einkorn is grown, to do some game plan training with an international team. And one of the things that struck me was that the lodge was completely made of hardwood, and it was gorgeous. And a story was told to me that when the floors were put in, the men installing them sanded them to perfection. Then Gary came inside, and he was frustrated because it no longer felt like the original wood. So we made him go back through the entire building and unsand the floors so you could feel the little bumps and knobs as you walked on it barefoot. And it was totally amazing. All right, let me wrap up and then I'll give you guys, do some giveaways. And don't let me forget to give you the hangman puzzle. We're going to end with some affirmations. And then I'm going to pray over you guys at the end of the boot camp and then some giveaways. So here's some affirmations right out of the workbook for the very, very last day. I know I can achieve anything. I'm happy about the future. I'm filled with strength and with courage. I choose to look for the positive in any situation. I'm progressing in the right direction. The past is gone and I choose to focus on the life ahead. I take responsibility and I remain creative. I'm coordinated and organized. I'm driven and powered from the inside out. I embrace change. I value people. I'm powerful and equipped to reach my goals. I'm a seed that produces unique fruits. I love that one. I'm a seed that produces unique fruits. I triumph as a champion. I'm reliable. I am unstoppable and unlimited. I have a few more meters to the end of the tunnel. I'm at the finish line. I have seen and conquered too much to compromise now. Maybe that's your sentence for this year. I'm strong enough to get through. I'm scared, but I'll do it anyway. I know exactly what to do. I can dream bigger. I am blessed. And so now you finish the workbook, except for the very last journaling section. Now I'm going to give you guys kind of a weird assignment to wrap this up. In addition to the questions in the workbook for the final entry, you can write something good for this journal. I want you to write a note to Gary Young. Do it over your Thanksgiving break. I want you to tell Gary. So many of you guys got on here and said, I never had a chance to meet Gary. Write something to him. Tell him some of your dreams. You might not have met him, but you can still give him some of your heart because Gary was a great dreamer. So once you have the words down, I want you to draw one of my action step check boxes next to it and then add a big check mark when you achieve it. Dream it like Gary. Commit like Gary. Complete like Gary. Inspire like Gary and give others hope like Gary. So write a little note to the man that founded this company and just let him know. And you know what he would say if he was reading it. He'd be like, you could do that in half the time. You could do this, right? All right. Shalina says, I want what you offer to help me. What's good to start with? Because I'm going to have to buy a little at a time. What do I start with? I would say grab the script book and start teaching. Start teaching to people. Start teaching to the people around you. That is a worthwhile investment. All right, guys. Very last letter. We made it to the very last letter of Oily Hangman. Let's see if I can get my workbook over. My workbook open. Let's see what hit me from this class. What are my current oils goals? Here it is. So let's see how many of you guys figured out the Hangman game that we've been playing for a couple of months now. The last letter in the puzzle to unlock the secret page for the first script in the second script book. Yes, this is script book 1, guys. I'm writing more of these script books for you guys. Is the letter D. And with that, I'm going to give you the answer to this. So for Hangman, the answer to it is oils in every home in the world. We've been collecting all of those letters for the last couple of months, right? Oils in every home in the world. So those of you that figured it out before I said it, go ahead and shoot me an email at oilabilitywithsarah@gmail.com. And I will, as soon as I have the Candida class finished, I'm almost done with it. Those of you guys that have emailed me, we will email you that script before we release the next script book. That's going to be one of the scripts in the next script book. I'm also working on a frequency class for the next script book that you can teach to your teams and teach them all about the frequency of oils. And I'm working on a sensory class for anybody with kids with autism or on the spectrum. I'm working on a number of really, really cool classes. So make sure you fill out your worksheet. If you guys have completed everything, get your worksheet done in the back. And that wraps it up. So let me pray over you. And then I'll do some giveaways. And I will see you guys on Tuesday for just regular roundtable. All right. Dear Jesus, I just thank you for this group of women and men that have hopped on, grabbing what they can, maybe not every single night, but just grabbing what they can, Lord. And I just pray a blessing on their team. I pray the Moses blessing, God, on their team, that it may be a spigot that rains down on them. And as we're in this crazy world with inflation and cargo ships stranded and all the things and jobs, people not working and all of that, Lord, that we would be in a little land of Goshen outside of Egypt, that we would have plenty, we would have enough, our family would be fine, and we would feel your protection over our families, God. Thank you for every single oiler that's investing in themselves, whether they're a customer just watching these for product education or they're on as a brand partner looking for ways to build their business. God, I just pray your spigot over every single family that has gotten on any of these boot camps. I don't care if it's for 3 minutes, Lord, for one of them. I just pray that your hand be on their family. And I pray that you bless them in every way possible, Lord, spiritually, mentally, emotionally, physically, relationally, financially, God, that in every way they could be touched, that you would touch their family. Give them consistency and discipline and show them the way to bring oils to every home in the world. God, we love you and we love what you have created. Thank you for thinking of us before we were ever even here on the earth. Lord, you had a way to heal us. We praise your name and we are so grateful for you and what you're doing in our lives today, and even the things that we don't know about yet. We surrender our businesses to you and we step back with no anxiety and no fear, just consistency, discipline, and a goal of bringing oils to every home in the world. In Jesus' name, amen. All right, guys, I love you. The Spirit Spigot. Yeah, the Spirit Spigot. Let me pick 3 people that I haven't seen win things, and I'm going to give away a whole bundle of everything. So Leanne Chamberlain, I haven't seen you win a whole lot. So a bundle of everything means an oiler edition, a workbook, 10 minis, and a teacher's edition. So you just won an entire, a whole set of them. Jessica Medina, I haven't seen you win anything. So girl, you just won, it's over $100, a huge bundle of everything. So 1 oiler edition, 1 workbook, 10 minis, and a teacher's edition. Keep talking to me, guys, especially if you haven't won anything. Let me know if you've been on this boot camp the whole time and you haven't walked away with anything before. Melanie Gordon, I haven't seen your name. So girl, you are number 3, winner number 3. You have to email my team and let them know that you won the bundle. All right. There's a bundle on my website with a little bit of everything. So it's one book, one workbook, 10 minis, and a teacher's edition. Just get you off the ground. It's discounted. And you guys are my 3 winners tonight. So God bless you. I hope you have an amazing Thanksgiving. I will hop on Tuesday just for a quick round table. But we're going to settle into a little bit of a different pattern here coming off of this boot camp. And I'm just so grateful to each of you guys for getting on. It means so much to me that you give up your time and you hop on with me in the evening. I know there's many things you could be doing with your family in the evenings. But I just want you to know that you are treasured. You are loved. You are prayed for. I believe in you. And, you know, my challenge to you is to believe in yourself as much as Gary believed in you, because you are worth fighting for. Your family's worth fighting for. So get out there, roll up your sleeves, don't be discouraged, and go do what you need to do to grow your OGV and get this business off the ground. All right. I love you guys, and I'll see you on Tuesday. Bye.